Points to note about bitterness and how to overcome them. Points to note about bitterness and how to overcome them. Very important. In the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 15, the Bible speaking, I read. It says, looking diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled. Number one point to note about bitterness is parasitic in nature. Bitterness, like a parasitic plant, seeks to take root deep in your being, and then it begins to attack every vital organ in your system, spirit, soul, and body. Bitterness is very, very dangerous. Number two, bitterness is poisonous. Bitterness is poisonous. In the scriptures, we also take note of the fact that bitterness was regarded as poison. So, as a poison, the end goal of bitterness is to kill. Is to kill. Bitterness will do everything to kill your joy, kill your drive for God, kill your drive for people, your passion to love, your drive to accomplishment, and then many other things. Bitterness will most importantly kill your joy. There is no way joy and bitterness can cohabit in the same temple or in the same body. We must be very, very, very observant of this point. And then number three and the last, bitterness seeks to defile everyone that is around the carrier. Bitterness seeks to defile everyone that is around the carrier. People around carriers of bitterness stand the chance of being infected by that same virus. In other words, the spirit of bitterness does not only seek to destroy the carrier, it also seeks to jump from the carrier and to inflict everyone around such a carrier with other kinds of ailments of sin and iniquity. Because the next verse, after verse 15, also suggests to us that an individual who is around a carrier can all of a sudden find him or herself becoming susceptible to the sin of fornication. In other words, bitterness, when it begins to affect others, can begin to provoke and initiate the activities of sin around the individual. So we must understand that awesomely, bitterness is ultimately dangerous, first to the carrier and then to every other person around the carrier. So we must wage war against bitterness, the root of bitterness. Once bitterness begins to take root deep within a carrier or within a person, that is a situation that requires immediate attention. Now, how can we overcome bitterness? Just in case someone is listening to me, you are listening to me, and probably bitterness is already taking root deep inside of you. Number one, watch against offenses. Do not be offended for too long. Do not take offenses seriously. As a believer, most especially, we must stay in the place of praying in the Spirit always, living and walking in the Spirit always. And as we keep on praying and working out our salvation with fear and trembling, then we will have an healthy form of sensitive attitude towards bitterness. We will watch against bitterness. It is very important that you watch against bitterness. It is very, very important. Number two, bitterness can be overcome by tarrying long in the place of fervent prayer. We must learn to pray fervently for long. And not just praying fervently for long, but also praying the prayer of consecration and sanctification. The moment you notice that bitterness is beginning to take root deep inside of you, then it is a call for separation, it is a call for a fast, it is a call for you to find time, not just a short time, but find time enough to pray for long. Praying till you know that bitterness has been rooted out from you. You must pray till bitterness is rooted out from you, because as long as bitterness is resident in you, believe me, every other thing you are doing as a believer will only be efforts in futility. Number three, we must pray consistently for those who offended us. You must be able to identify the major cause of the bitterness that you seemingly are in possession of at the moment. Once you can be able to identify the major cause, and most likely bitterness is always is always attached to someone that did wrong to you. So you must learn to pray for such a person or group of people, whoever or whatever group of persons that made you to get to the point where you became so offended, to the point where you became bitter. You must take them to the place of prayer. And when you begin to pray for them consistently, you will discover something, that God will begin to help you by Spirit to deal with that evil thing called bitterness inside of you. That thing will begin to be rooted out gradually by the Spirit of God as He carries out its inward workings in your life. May the Lord bless you. May you remain under the canopy of His mercy and grace, and may your walk with Jesus never fade away. God bless you.